Hey, so welcome back to Papa's Custom Cars. Today we're going to do kind of a little bit of a video on this Mustang that I rented. It's a 4-cylinder Mustang, but it appears to have the premium 4-cylinder in it with the turbocharger, which I thought was kind of interesting. I thought that you had to buy it in a sport version, but evidently this is an upgraded Mustang with that turbo engine in it, meaning it's got a lot of features in it that the bone stock Mustang doesn't have. So we're going to run a few tests on it for you and show you kind of how this thing performs and all that kind of fun stuff. So stay tuned and let's see what this thing does. So the first area to show you is going to be the dashboard. It allows you to set up a bunch of different ways that you can have your gauges set up. So you have different modes and that type of thing where you can set it up like for track or what have you. When you go into the modes, it fires up. There's your normal, then you've got a sport mode. It changes the handling of the car a little bit. It also changes the way it shifts. Track mode, I can tell you, if you put it in track mode, you aren't using the cruise control or any of that fun stuff, probably because it thinks it's on at the track. And then you've got your drag strip mode, which I thought was pretty neat when I tried it the first time. Do understand we are doing this on a closed road. When we do it, don't do this stuff on the street. People that do this kind of garbage on the street are idiots, so don't do that. Don't be the idiot. Especially, garbage like leaving car shows and stuff like that. Over on the secondary gauge, or the secondary screen, I should say, you've got what's called My Mustang, and in My Mustang, you can set up different modes, your track apps, gauges, all that kind of thing. You can set your driving mode over here too, or set your own profiles, which I thought was kind of neat. So you can set it up the way you want. Custom mode, your different settings like your steering, how it feels, traction control, all that kind of fun stuff. What I found were you've got your auxiliary gauges. You can set up things like your turbo boost if you want to see that and all that kind of fun stuff. Right now it's just basic auxiliary gauges, but if it were me, I would probably go with hold on a minute, let me get to it. Nobody cares about that. Oil pressure is a good one to know. There's your boost gauge, and then on this side your oil pressure, which I think are two good ones. That with a 4-cylinder, you would set your water temp, whichever. So all you have to do to save it is hit that little checkbox, and boom, you've got your boost gauge and your oil pressure, which is kind of cool. Running up to track apps, you've got this is in drag mode. You've got your line lock, and you've got your acceleration timers. It's also got this little drag race lights thing that's pretty cool. I thought anyway. And it goes set your 0 to 60, and it'll hit when you hit the start button, it'll start counting down for you, which I thought was kind of neat. Let's go. Start. Press OK on the steering wheel to start the timer. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to show you. So tell it OK. And over here, you got your acceleration timer. And it's basically saying, ready, set, go kind of thing. So that's kind of neat. So let's get it out on this closed road I found, and let's go check it out. So first off, we're going to take it out of that mode. And so we flip back over here, and it's really nice because it's right on your steering wheel. You just go mode, back to normal. So let's head over there and see how this thing acts. So one of the first tests we're going to run is an acceleration test. We're going to do a 0 to 60, and we're going to let it do it automatically. And we'll do it from excuse me, I can get this out. We're going to do it on an on-ramp since the speed limit in Utah is 70 miles an hour here. We can do a 0 to 60 time pretty easy and see what this little 4-cylinder will do in a 0 to 60. Kind of give you an idea. Like I said, the acceleration in this thing is pretty good. I do have it in drag race mode because I want to maximize the way this thing accelerates. And when I had it in drag race mode, just playing with it, it chirped second gear without any trouble whatsoever, which I thought was pretty good for a little 4-cylinder. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up, make sure there's no traffic behind us. And we're going to pull over to the side real quick and get out of people's ways. So, and make sure there's nobody in our way. We're going to do the automatic start. Just got to wait for traffic to clear for a minute here. And boom, we're at 60. So I didn't like the fact that it doesn't tell us a time anywhere, which is kind of odd. But as you can see, it accelerated to 60 pretty quick, which is really surprising for a 4-cylinder. I mean, in a car this heavy, this Mustang is not as light as like my 83 is by any means. But let's head over to a closed road and go from there. So there is a results screen. I'm hoping you guys don't get a lot of glare, and it looks like 4.79 seconds to 60 mile an hour from a dead stop, which is a pretty respectable time for a 4-cylinder car. So that definitely shows, you know, it does have a nice little acceleration curve on it. I do believe this one's got the 10 speed in it. It is weird, it doesn't let you automatically shift, or I just haven't found it. I'm not sure what it is. But I'll get back with you in just a minute. So the overall driving feel in this car is real nice. It is a Mustang. It has lane control. It doesn't have passive cruise, but I'm sure you can order it up. Lane control is kind of annoying. It gives you the vibration and that kind of thing. Ride seems in normal mode relatively smooth. It is a sports car. You can tell by driving it, it's a sports car. But as you can see at 65, it's just tooling along right under 2,000 RPMs. So definitely, you know, it's got a nice feel to it. It does have the Mustang feel to it. And as you can see with a almost 5-second acceleration time, you definitely can enjoy the ride. Police car. Ooh. So anyway, we're off to that undisclosed location with the closed road and see if we can't run some quick tests on it. I think the overall is, would I buy it? Yeah, I probably would. Would I go out of my way to buy it instead of a Corvette or something of that nature? The price point on this is way better than a Corvette, and this is the 4-cylinder model, so I would imagine that the price on this is much, much better. So let's get to a spot where we can run that quarter-mile time and see just how this sucker accelerates in accelerates in drag race mode. Okay, so going back to it, we're going to set our mode to drag. So up arrow until it gets to the drag race mode. Oops, went right by it. Drag strip. And then we go over to our track apps. And because it's on drag race, it's going to give you these features. Let me see if it changes with track. So on track, let's go back. Let's go track apps. Same thing, timers, except it added a lap timer. I don't know if it was there before, but let's take a look, see, go back to drag race mode. Drag strip, and lap timer still there. So in this particular case, we're gonna set the acceleration timer at a quarter mile. And then we're just gonna set it on automatic. Then we're gonna back out and we're gonna go to line lock. Hold OK to initialize line lock. So in this particular case, we just need to pull up onto the line and make it happen. So let's get it done. So let's pull it up. Flat surface. Hit our line lock button. Push OK. That's not doing anything, so. Okay. I heard something click. Oh, you know what? We don't have an acceleration RPM set. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna cut it loose anyway. Stop waiting around for it. So let's go for it. Hard to do both at the same time. But as you can see, hold on a minute, let me fix the camera, because it went flying, of course. So as you can see, we got rubber in 3 gears. It is a 10-speed, so your gear ratios are lower, but even still, that's pretty impressive to get scratch in 3 gears. You know, for a 4-cylinder anyway. You know, back when I was growing up and we had Mustangs, if you got rubber in 2nd gear with your stick shift, you were doing well. If you were getting rubber, you know, between the 1st, 2nd shift, you were doing real well. And this one, with a 4-cylinder turbo, got scratch in, well, not only 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. But with the line lock, you can set your RPMs to bring it up to as high as you want in order to, you know, get your best launch. I think with this it'd be a matter of messing around and seeing what shift points you want to set, and mainly what RPM you want to set on the launch, because as you saw, we weren't very high in the RPM range and the tires were already spinning. So definitely, you know, would have probably helped to warm them up a little bit. You know, it doesn't really make any difference, but as you can see, for a 4-cylinder car, it's really impressive. And, you know, I could imagine that the V8 is just as much, if not more fun, because that's a lot more motor, a lot more power. I think 450, if I remember right. So you've got another roughly 150 horsepower over this motor. So, yeah, you're definitely going to get a lot more power. But if you want drivability, I would probably go with this 4-cylinder, you know, unless it's just your weekend cruiser, because that V8 is probably going to be thirsty. And I know that, like with my Nova, when I'm out in that V8 and I hear it rumbling and stuff, I have a tendency to put my foot in it, because it's a V8 and you have to. So, you know, it's one of those things where if you want one and you want a V8, go ahead and spend the extra money. If you're driving it every day, it's on you. Just remember that these new cars are a lot more powerful than they were when we were younger. And if you've never drag race a car before or had a car with any kind of power, you need to be careful. Hence why there's all these Mustang crash videos, is because there are a lot of Mustangs out there. And because of that, you know, and the cheaper price, there's going to be a lot more people in them than there are in the Chargers and the Camaros and that type of thing. those are a little bit pricier than the Mustang. So of course you're going to see more wrecked Mustangs than you are any other ones, because they outsell everything else, and that's the main reason for it. So once we get this thing back over to the return lot and gassed up and everything, I'll do a walk around on it so you can kind of see this car. It is a nice looking car. I've been complimented by a lot of people about how nice my car is. It's really sad to tell them it's a rental. But one of the things that you can think of is you can pick one of these up at a, at a Budget or a Hertz or an Enterprise car sale and get a decent little car. Take it out for a drive, make sure it's got all those features, and that it is the turbo motor. And it's probably going to be worth the investment, especially if it doesn't have a lot of miles on it. These little motors and the V8s and everything are designed nowadays to run, a few 100,000 miles. So you should be okay with one of these. If you feel a little bit uncomfortable about it, buy the extended warranty. Get the bumper to bumper. That way, the turbo's covered and everything else under the sun is covered. You don't have to worry about breaking down. So give me a minute. We'll get over to gas it up, and then take it and drop it off, and we'll get some outside video of it so you guys can see it. And I'll be back with you in a minute. So let's do a quick walk around so you can take a look-see at the outside of this thing. It's not a bad car. Like I said, the only thing wrong with it is it's black. And as anybody who owns a black car knows, it is very, very, very hard to keep them clean. Let's flip that. As you can see, it is just a standard black Mustang, but no real features, nothing sticks out. So when you look at it, it appears to be normal, with the exception of the rims. It's a good looking little car, but like I said, it is black. The only thing I don't like about the newer Mustangs is the view from the back. They have what appears to be a real wide rear end, but the tires on them don't fit the bill. I think it should have twice the tire, but that's my opinion. So that's kind of the synopsis on the rental car here. Nice car. Would I rent it again? Yeah, probably. So with that, everybody like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.